morning. Today I'm going to make myself a springtime wreath. So I've gathered up a few supplies like this grapevine wreath that I have used before I had it whitewashed. I'm just going to use that. And then I've found some flowers. These are hydrangeas. So the first thing I'm going to need to do obviously is I'm going to need to have some flowers and a grapevine wreath or some sort of wreath form. I'm also going to need to use some hot glue and of course a hot glue gun, which is hot and ready to go. And then I will also need some wire cutters to cut the stems of the flowers off to make them shorter, and then a little piece of wire to make a hook on the back of the wreath. I think that's all I'll need for right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where I want the middle of my wreath to be, and I'm going to flip it over to the back side, and then using this wire I'm going to make a loop. Probably about like that. And then twist the tails together like this. So I got myself a nice little hook to hang it from. And then I'm just going to simply attach that through, try to wiggle it through the grapevine until I can get it secured nicely. And then I'll just twist the two parts together and make it real nice and sturdy. And then I'll have a hook to hang. This is easier to do before you start putting the flowers on because you don't want to smush the flowers, obviously. So there we go. I'm going to use a little needle nose pliers just to kind of smush down the little tail of the wire so I don't get poked with it later. Alright, so there we go. We got our little hook right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the hook that we'll hang it from. There we go. We don't want it to poke out too far, so kind of smush it down in there a little bit. Alright, then we'll flip it back over, making sure we keep the top at the top and the bottom so we know where we're going to work with. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is kind of start placing the flowers. I have 4 bunches that are larger in size, and then I have quite a few little ones, probably 8 or 9 little small bunches of flowers. So I'm going to place the big ones first, and to do that I'm going to cut the stems really small with my wire cutter and just kind of smush them in there. I don't even know if I'm going to really need to use my hot glue gun to begin with, but I am going to keep it on standby just in case I do need it. Just throw that in there. So there you go. You just kind of start sticking the flowers in randomly. Like so. And then sometimes with these flower stems, if you take the stem at the very base, the flower comes out, and you turn it so that the stem is turned, it'll lay nicer into the wreath. But this one doesn't want to stay in here. Alright, let's put this one over here. There we go. Floof it a bit. And then we'll add our last big one also. Ow. And we'll cut it a little shorter. that. Alright, so okay, now that I have my 4 big hydrangeas placed on the wreath, I've split up the rest of the hydrangeas that I have that are the smaller size. I know I have 2 for each section in between each large clump. So I have 2 for here, 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 and here, and I have 1 extra. So this extra one I'm going to stick towards the bottom here and count that as this big one. Like so. I fear I do not have enough of the hydrangea to make the whole wreath, so I'm going to have to sporadically put them in. These are the original hydrangeas I started with, and I realized once I got started that I did not have enough. So, naughty me, I went to the store and bought 4 bunches of hydrangeas. Luckily they were on sale. So I'm just going to cut these apart and then I'll add them to my thing. So apparently for these hydrangea wreaths you need a lot. So this one bunch of these hydrangeas that I just bought has 8 stems, I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 stems. So I didn't know. Hopefully I will now have enough. So the only problem with those, the ones that I just bought, are obviously very white. And the ones that I was using before has a bit of a green tinge in the middle, but I think it'll all turn out just fine. Mixing the 2 together will be just fine, I think. So basically what I want to do is make sure that I can't see any of the wreath when I'm finished. And so far, I haven't used any glue. Oops. That one just fell off. I've used only just sticking it into the wreath. Seems to be doing the trick just fine. Okay, as you can see, I've finished putting all the hydrangeas around, and there's only a few of them that I actually hot glued in. The rest I just stuck in, so I can remove them later and use them for something else. But this is what it looks like. And then on the top, I have added a ribbon to hang it from. And I just tied it onto that wire that we put at the very top in the very beginning. So now it is ready to hang wherever I want it to. I think it turned out pretty. Alright, so I thought I would show you the finished wreath. I have it hanging in my dining room on the chalkboard that I put up not too long ago. And here is the dining room table, and then the chalkboard, of course. And then behind on the chalkboard I have the wreath hanging from the ribbon that I attached to it. And basically I just wrapped the ribbon around the back of the frame and then used painter's tape and just taped it all on. Here you can see up here a little bit of painter's tape up there, and it seems to be doing the job. It's been hanging for, oh, I don't know, 3-4 days now, and it's not going anywhere. So I really like how the wreath turned out. It turned out really nice and full, and it looks gorgeous and very spring-like for the dining room. So I'm really liking it. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.